The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
We have hit the final month of Season 1 for the Bootleg Outlaw Modified Series, and as we march to the end, J.R. Shepard appears to be on his way to a championship. Now, last week, his streak of top 2 finishes, well, that came to an end when he finished 3rd behind Tim Shanowski. Tonight, we get back to the night racing part of it on the fast high bank Southern National Motorsports Park, and you'll see the racing in just a couple minutes on iRacing Live and the Global Sim Racing channel. Good evening and welcome to the Virtual Grip 100. I'm Chris Scala. Alongside me is Sean Ambrose, Joe Peak taking care of us behind the scenes, and of course Dougie Beard, as always, providing the cameras. Now, last week we paid honor to a fallen Bootleg member, Kenny Morris, and the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series went west for some short track racing at Irwindale. Now, Matt Hoos started on the pole in that 05, the exact number that Morris drove in this series, and it's safe to say Hoos drove his tail off throughout the race. He led 48 laps, however, he made one mistake on lap 49 as he got loose in the middle of 1 and 2, and Tim Shanowski made the move, took the lead, and he would lead the last 52 laps to get the victory at the Irwindale Inner Track. Now, Sean Ambrose, we welcome him into the booth, and Sean, tonight we're on a very fast short track here in North Carolina, known as Southern. Now, I like to call it the Little Bristol, pretty much, but tell us about this fun short track.
Well, this is a 13-second track in the SK Modified, built in 1993, right here in Lucama, North Carolina. Old Southern National Speedway, 0.4 of a mile. And brother, it's fast, and you got about 17 degrees of banking in those turns, 7 degrees down the straightaways. Like you said, it's a little mini version of Bristol. Not quite as much banking, but what I will tell you is a premium, and that's grip. Grip getting off these turns. We've already seen it in a couple races tonight. These cars are fast and loose, ready to race. But I'll tell you what we can do now is take a quick ride around in the GSRC SK Modified here at Southern National Motorsports Park.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazik and this is Southern National Motorsports Park in the GSRC SK Modified. Without further ado, let's show you how you get around this joint. Hot lap, looking to find the bottom right here. No other place to run. Hook that bottom right off of turn 2, swing it right out here to the fence, and then back down into turn 3. This track is a nice little short track, doesn't give you a whole lot of time to think. You just kind of have to drive this place on instinct. But if you do make a mistake, there is a lot of banking, as you can see right up there, that will catch you in case you have a mistake, unless that's off the bumper of the competitor around you. Then that wall will be waiting for you up there. But turns 3 and 4, find it right there underneath the start-finish line, back into turn 1. It's a very, very rhythm-based track. Once you get a good rhythm around here, you're fairly unstoppable, even to the point that I set my personal best time here on the 4th lap on the track. Really, as you're going to watch these guys go, this track is so good for racing. I mean, especially if you're up there on that second groove, you might be able to get a good run off of the corner and try to pinch them down, whoever you're racing against, off of the corners. Southern National Motorsports Park is bound to put on a good show for these SK Modifieds as the race progresses on. But without further ado, I'm Brian Yazik. This is the GSRC SK Modified. Enjoy the show.
And that was a lap around this Southern National Motorsports Park. Chris is down trackside and has caught up with a man who has struggled this season, but looks to turn it around tonight, Mr. Donnie Moore.
Yeah, Donnie Moore joins us after a pretty tough run in Irwindale last week. Donnie, it seems like Irwindale is just that track that, well, just don't want to treat you right tonight. So you're back here, Southern National, tonight. What can you do to redeem yourself and get back on that podium, if not get a good finish tonight?
Better finish than last week, I hope, Chris. So, yeah, 14th. I'll be starting 14th tonight with 20 drivers, so that's going to be tough to get through the field, I'll tell you.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Donnie, not to brag here, but I did start 15th in our street stock race and finished 5th, so it can be done. If I can do it, you can definitely do it.
I absolutely saw that. Good job on your part, Chris. Good job. That does give me inspiration.
Don't let me ever be inspiration for you, because you know what you're doing. You're a previous champion in this league, and if anybody can do that kind of move, it's you. Now, one thing I did see in that race earlier tonight was the high groove seemed to kind of come in later on as the tires wore out, especially coming off the corner. Do you think you could take that as an advantage with the restarts and things?
The high groove might work. I saw it work a little bit in the last 2 races, so it's possible that could work up there. You've got to have a good dancing partner who wants to play nice.
All right, well, hopefully you can two-step your way into victory lane then tonight when it's all over with, Donnie. We appreciate your time, as always, and best of luck in that 26 car this evening, and it's waiting for you. Victory lane, you'll see you soon, bud.
Chris, I appreciate it very much. It's always a pleasure to be here, you guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Donnie. Donnie Moore, the driver of the number 26 Irwin Tools car, and that interview brought to you by the Virtual Grip Network. It's the blog devoted to news from the world of iRacing at virtualgrip.net. You can stay up to date on what's happening at iRacing and keep up with the top World Championship Series, including the Blanc Pond GT Series, the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, and the World Championship Grand Prix Series. Now, should mention also, Sean, tonight is the Virtual Grip 100, so we'll get ready for that coming up. But first, we'll talk about the point standings, because as we've talked about throughout the season, it's a one-man show throughout right now. J.R. Shepard has been the man to beat, and he just continues to be the man to beat as he has a pretty big lead over the field.
Well, here we go. The Lawrence Towing 2017 winter season point standings, and yes, J.R. Shepard continues his death grip on the top of the championship points right now. I honestly don't think he's going to be caught. Jeff Sharp, 25 points behind. Here's the big news. This momentum, this driver, Tim Shinoski, what he's been able to do here midway through the season and now into the second half. got himself tied with Jeff Sharp. So second place is up for grabs. Donnie Moore really slipping back now, 33 points behind, just 8 points there behind Shinosky, but losing ground, and Donnie's going to have to get on it. Lowell hanging on to 5th place and doing a really good job. You know, it's been a solid run here this season for Lowell. So there's your top 5. Let's talk about the race details of the evening. Let's get to those, Chris. We've got the SK Modified here on track tonight. Every week here with the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series, it is the iRacing fixed setup. And we will invert this grid to start this race from the top 10 finishers last week. We'll talk more about that here in a moment. 100 laps this evening. That'll be 40 miles on this 4/10 mile track. Fast repair, you do get 1. But when and if you have to come into the pits, you must and cannot take tires. Do not take tires. If you do, you'll have to leave the car in the pit there. You've been disqualified from the event. Fuel is 100%, won't be a concern. No incident cap, double file restarts on the cautions. There is a lucky dog administered by race control. The weather this evening, it's a beautiful evening here. It's 79 degrees and clear, Chris. 80 degrees on track.
It's a beautiful night for racing here at Southern National Motorsports Park. Now, with the points battle, we should mention J.R. Shepard, needless to say, has this in tow right now with the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series. But also, when it's all over with the admins and things, you don't want to mess with them. You don't want to go changing tires, or else, don't want to have Major Tom coming after us when it's all over with tonight. But Sean, let's talk about the history here of Southern National Motorsports Park with what's gone on pretty much in the past here with the Outlaws. And that's pretty much 4 races so far. This track's only been around for about a year here on iRacing. Matt LaVenture winning last season. You see Edwards Kiss there also with a victory back in the winter time. So this is going to be the 5th visit for this track, and pretty safe to say with 19 new drivers, or I shouldn't say new drivers who have not won here before, safe to say, Sean, that we're going to have a new winner tonight.
I think it is safe to say. To be honest with you, Ryan Edward Kiss not been able to participate much this season. Matt LaVenture still sitting out with an injury. I know he tried to go on a truck, so I can't remember exactly how he finished out, but Matt going to be sitting this one out. So we will definitely see a first-time winner here at Southern National Motorsports Park tonight. I know J.R. Shepard probably looking to get back towards the podium. What do you think there, Chris?
I think that's a pretty good bet tonight, because that leads me right into the keys that I've put together. Let's start with the new streak for J.R. Shepard. Will that start tonight? J.R. Shepard finished 3rd last week. Can he get back to victory lane tonight, Sean?
Well, of course he can. JR is JR. He's working on his championship here. I certainly think he can find his way back to the front. Now we've got a couple of new guys here tonight, and will they factor into this race? We'll see. David Loomis sitting there top 6 in time right now. David seems to have a pretty good grip on this track. We could maybe see something out of him, or somebody like Jeff Kendrick, who's also sitting up there in the top 10 in practice. But that is just practice, isn't it, Chris?
Practice. Allen Iverson once said, not a game, but practice. So we'll have to see how that all works out. Now, I mentioned it to Donnie Moore, and as I've said a couple times, I did run the street stock race here earlier tonight, and we saw a little bit of a second groove in that race. So I'm going to ask it. Do we have a one-track mind here tonight? One groove track, bottom line. Will it be the fastest and the right way to victory?
Yeah, you know what? I think ultimately the bottom line is going to be your way to victory lane. Now, the question is, can you get a little help on the top side to maybe get around somebody? That may be possible. If they can get a little rubber up there, you may see a pass on the outside for the lead. But I think you're really smart, you're really fast racers are probably going to be stubborn and probably stick to that bottom fast line, Chris.
And then, of course, the third key for tonight is, as we get into the end of season 1 and we're getting ready for season 2, as we're about 4 races away, literally 1 month to go in this season, who could you see tonight creating that momentum maybe to finish out this season strong and get into season 2?
Well, I think he's already doing it. It's Tim Shinosky. I think that's the guy to keep your eyes on. Tim is really rolling right now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him up near the front again this evening. And again, Tim's got a lot of momentum right now. I think he can carry it all the way to the end of the season in and next. Might be looking at a future champion.
Which would definitely be good because, this series is such a fun one to be a part of. So we're looking forward to seeing what can happen when this series goes into action again next season. But a lot of guys, 20 cars looks like lined up right now. And we do have some new drivers tonight we should mention. Ron Collinsworth being one. He's a new driver in this league as we're checking him out right now on board the number 22 car. He has joined us this evening. So it looks like that's the only name I haven't recognized on this list so far. So welcome into Ron Collinsworth. And again, 20 cars, though. That's going to make things really exciting tonight for us here, Sean.
Yeah, that's the biggest grid we've had in a while. And, noticing one noticeable absentee is actually Lucas Stinziano. Lucas was awful fast in that modified last week. And, it seems like every time Lucas shows back up, he's untapped a little bit more of that talent and is a little bit faster every time he gets back in this thing. But honestly, this is one of the biggest grids we've had in quite some time for a Saturday night bootleg race, and hopefully no copyright infringement there. But Chris, no, this is a great field tonight, and this is going to be one whale of a race, man. And yeah, I agree with our director. It is Saturday night, and this is live on the
Thank you. That's what I'm thinking.
iRacing Live.
I like that. Now, one thing we're not going to say, because you can get in trouble, is the month before the word madness, because that is copyright infringed, and so we can't say that, but we could say the madness that they'll march into tonight. That'll work. Anyways, looking at Jacob Williams here, got about a minute and a half to go, and Sean so far is batting below the Mendoza line so far, as we say, as we've started doing this with him each week, and we're going to throw him out there on the spot. Almost makes me wonder, should I say, Sean, who's not going to win tonight? But who's going to win?
Boy, who's going to win? You know what? Put me on the spot. I'm going to have to probably have to take J.R. Shepard tonight to get back to victory lane. I'm thinking he feels like that's a lonely place that needs his presence back in it.
That's a big reach, my friend. Big reach. But J.R. Shepard to pick for Sean Ambrose this evening. But we're going to have a pretty wild grid coming up here. 50 seconds ago, as you look at Matt Hoos, who won the race earlier tonight, the Street Stocks. He did win that earlier this evening. Started on pole and actually got a late restart and got the jump there in that Oreo machine. And I made a comment during one of our broadcasts earlier this week as I see that Oreo paint. Sean, Oreo's got an interesting concept coming out here in July. They got these firework cookies coming out. I think this will be the perfect time to bring them up to Joe, because we know he probably loves Oreo cookies, because everybody does. But they have the new Candy Rock cookies coming that apparently are supposed to be like those old Pop Rocks. We talked about this, and so again, my question is, if I see Joe, if I throw a cookie at his foot, will he explode? That's just my wonder. And apparently I'm being told they got peep-filled Oreos.
What is a peep? What?
Do you not know? Whoa, did you just ask what a peep is?
No, it's a little bit beyond me.
All right, you need to go to your nearest grocery store, my friend, tomorrow. And go in and go to the candy section. You're going to see these 4 little rabbit things that are like almost glittered paint. Chewy. Those are peeps.
All right.
You almost scared me for a second. Now I'm waiting for the Cadbury cream ones to come out. By the way, that would be great. Anyways, we're gridding, I believe. Speaking of candy, we didn't even get to the first lap, and we've already brought food up. Kurt Smith going to start on the pole tonight, and Phil Temple's going to start outside row number 1.
All right, and then we're going to go to Chris Wolfson on the inside of row 2. Jeff Sharp starts 4th tonight.
Boss man Lowell Jewell going to start inside row number 3 alongside him, John Holcomb.
All right, and then row 4 is going to be Mike Allen, J.R. Shepard on the outside in 8th.
Mike Allen had a pretty good race in that street stock race. He could be somebody to watch. Matt Hoos starting there in 9th position. Last week's winner, Tim Shinowski, there in 10th.
All right, and then row 6, that's going to be Jeff Kendrick on the inside, Chip Dickard on the outside, winner of the truck race.
Well, Donnie Moore has already gained a spot pretty much from where he said he was going to start. Said he was going to start 14th. He's going to start 13th next to Ralph Connor.
All right, Ron Collinsworth gonna be on the inside there. Row 8, Jacob Williams on the outside, back there at 16th.
Ernie Brown, Brian Barden going to start there in the 18th position and rounding out your grid. Chris Eads and the other name I forgot to mention, David Loomis. That's the new name also. He hasn't run, I believe, in the Outlaws yet. He's been in the street stock and I believe the trucks, but not the Outlaws yet. So welcome him into this race. He's a pretty good short track driver that has had some good success. So we wish them the best. But 20 cars here as we get the 1 to go mark. Next time by 100 laps, 40 miles, high bank track. You said 13-second laps around here. At this pace, who knows? We could be done really quickly.
Well, folks, pay attention because this one could be over in a flash.
In a flash?
Yeah, I said it earlier. 13-second. This is a 13-second track, people.
Well, pace car going to hang a left right there. Green flag is out, and we are underway here at Southern. Kurt Smith, Phil Temple's your front row. Kurt going to get a pretty good start into turn 1. Temple's going to slide up there into second position. Sharple was filling that gap. And they're almost 3 wide into 1. See how quick the laps log here.
Boy, Brian Barden back here charging hard. Already picked up 2 spots off the start. Doing it from the outside, Chris. Now it gets down to the bottom. Barden back in 16th place.
Some contact back there. David Loomis who's gaining some spots. But yeah, you see Barden there in that 06 that Flames car. Looks pretty cool. Little paint scheme. I love Flames on a car. Just my opinion. But that 91 going to make a move on the outside. Loomis making some moves. And look up front here. You see Lowell Jewell making a move underneath Holcomb. Shepard going to come with him. Tim Shanowski bringing that momentum with him from the 10th starting spot. He's going to try to get 7th away. Oh, there's a hip check and Holcomb spinning into the wall hard. Caution out.
Several cars around there. Let's pick it up on the replay, Chris, but it looks like just a little bit of side-by-side contact there with the 07 of Tim Shanowski.
Oh, yeah, there's a hip check.
Nerf bar to Nerf bar action there, and it was slight contact, but enough to get John
a couple
around.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple others spinning there just in front.
Yeah, I wonder if they were spinning just as a result, but here on board with Shanowski, you'll get an idea what happened here.
Oof.
Holcomb right there. Here's another angle of it. But we'll go back live here, and John's going to get back under power. That front end pretty beat up on that car, though. I don't know if he's going to opt to take the pit or... Oh, he's not now. He's going to stay in there. I did see Ron Collinsworth coming down.
Yep. Collinsworth came on the pit road there as there will be no wave around as everybody's on the lead lap still. But Collinsworth probably had a little bit of damage. Maybe decided to use that repair. And he will continue on.
I believe he does use that repair because the car looks clean. He did not take tires.
Brian, I beg your Barton is on pit road now, getting his damage fixed if he had some.
Yeah, that car looks good as well.
So going to get 1 to go as the pace car lights have already gone off. Pace laps around here at like 30 seconds, so they definitely fly by here. The laps will go by really quickly tonight. You see Phil Temple's there on the outside there at number 19. Kurt Smith led every lap from the start. Going to take the green here in a second. He's laying back a little bit here, trying to get Temple's off guard, and he does. And Smith gets a pretty good start, and here comes Jeff Sharp with him. Oh, and he almost got his nose chopped off.
Yes, he did. Philip Temple's hard out of it. Temple's gets him licking the wall, coming at it too.
Oh, Chris Wolfson, the man on the outside there.
What can Wolfson do up there? He's got Lowell Jewell right down on the inside.
Oh, was there a netcode there or something?
I think that was a netcode.
Oh, there he's in the wall. And caution is out again. Oh, big wreck. Loomis involved. Chris Eads back here in turn 2. '91 and 63.
Wow.
Oh, Eads gets a really good, Ooh.
That wreck had a few different levels to it, to be honest with you, because John Holcomb got wrecked back just behind that. Yeah,
it looked like Holcomb maybe went to check up and smacked the wall behind him here.
Well, what I'm
Eads on the
seeing,
outs.
I'm seeing the 8 of Ernie Brown making a little bit of contact with the 91 coming out of turn 2, and I think that's where the chain reaction started, was back there.
Tough break for those cars involved. Either way, though, caution number 2 out here at lap number 12. You're right on board with Holcomb, the Ohio driver.
Yeah, on the replay here, we're watching on board with John Holcomb here.
Oh, he gets tagged. Oh, the 22 got him.
Right, and that happened just behind what happened with the 91. You see him go by there with that problem with Loomis had there, and that was a mess. Tore up some race cars, and definitely going to see some fast repair after that.
Well, Chris Eads is on pit road. He's already gone 2 laps down, maybe a third. Not sure if he's parking his car for the night or if he's going to just try to get the damage fixed without using a tow, or maybe made a mistake and forgot to turn his reset on and has to get the damage fixed manually. We've done that before.
Kurt Smith still hanging on to that lead.
Kurt's done a good job so far. He's got Phil Temples there on his outside. He's got Sharp behind him, Lowell Jewell, J.R. Shepard right there on his inside. Tim Shanowski already up to 6. Hoos, Allen, Wolfson, Kendrick, your top 10. And green flag back out this time. Temple's not going to get caught sleeping. As a matter of fact, almost a little bit of door rubbing there, or I guess it would be sidebar rubbing. Temple's going to try that outside, gets turned.
Ooh. That was
J.R.
ugly.
Shepard gets a piece.
Man.
Sharp.
That was ugly, Chris.
He was, and one car tumbling now. The 59, we got more cars tumbling. The 59's over, the 9. This track continues on.
Wow. A couple cars like a pinball there in the middle. Philip Temples being one of them, but I'm afraid Philip maybe might have pushed the issue a little bit there and started that whole melee.
I think it was one of those deals he tried to clear himself and unfortunately was not clear. Kurt did nothing wrong there.
Yeah, and you never know. I mean, that could be an issue where the spotter might have been telling him he was clear, but he definitely was not clear. Yeah.
Trying to see, is that Donnie Moore down there, a black car that's in that? Or is that the 22? I'm trying to see who that is there from the camera you're seeing
the
here.
49 gets turned around, and
if you look up there towards the front stretch, you'll see the cars where they start running into each other here, and that's where everybody starts flipping.
Yeah.
Up in the top right of your screen there.
Boy, that was some heavy carnage for a lot of cars.
Bill Temple's taking his car behind the wall. He's going to the night already, so he's not too thrilled probably with what's happened. And one other car we should mention, Tim Shanowski. He is on pit road in laps down. So last week's winner and the guy you mentioned who could be carrying that momentum tonight behind the wall, is right on board, Mike Allen. He's going to get involved in the wreck on the front stretch here in a second. There you see, Shanowski. Wow.
Yeah, and our director coming up still with some great shots from that wreck there, but Mike on his lid, having to get it into the pit.
It looks like Dougie Beard already on the phone with Radio Shack about a new camera for the top of a car for next week.
Well, Chris Eads gets his modified back out, and he's going to be the recipient of the wave around, Chris. So
it's one of those. I was going to say it's one of those wave rounds where he's going to gain 5 spots out of it because everybody's 3 laps down. Eads will get back to 3 laps down, and he'll pass all 4 of those cars. Move up to the 16th position. Oh, and they've decided to wave off the green here. Apparently Eads had not gotten around yet to get his wave by, so they had to wait a lap to get that. Good call.
I'm going to get that sorted out. Shinotski's going to get back on track, still many laps down. Allen's back out. Chris Eads is back out. Ralph Connor's back out on the track. Unfortunately, Philip Temples still sits behind the wall there.
Kurt Smith's going to lead him. Yep, Kurt Smith's going to lead him back to green here. Lowell Jewell is outside now.
Green.
Yeah, that's what happens when something like gets stuck in your throat as you're talking. But Kurt Smith gets off to green. J.R. Shepard going to get the jump to second. Lowell Jewell, Matt Hoos, and Chris Wolfson going to be your top 5 here. Lap 24, already a quarter of the way down. J.R. Shepard all over the back. It's like, I want my crown back, sir.
No, there he goes, making that move. Got a wheel in. Heading into 1.
He's got
JR
it.
Shepard
Leader.
got the advantage, and he's gone. Bye-bye
Lap
in a
25.
car.
Are you saying bye, Felicia, already? Shepard becomes the second leader after starting back in the 8th position. Already up to the lead. Got some
And
lap
coming around
traffic up
Loomis.
ahead.
Getting around David Loomis, making quick business of it. And everybody else, Loomis doing a good job of keeping it up top, staying out of the way. JR already starting to open his lead up just about a half a second, Chris.
As the quote says, do not wake the sleeping baby, or sleeping dog as some have heard it. Last week, 3rd place finish, I think the dog was awoken. Shepard said, "Nope, give me my title back."
Yeah,
Shepard,
go
ahead.
I don't think that title's at any risk at this point, but JR really wants to put his stamp on a magical season.
Hoos.
He's had just behind him, Hoos to the inside. Yes, sir. Hoos making he's making a move on Lowell Jewell. Gets by him.
Give him the 3rd position. And one car rail sliding back here. Chris Wolfson. Tony Hawk will be proud of that move off 4. Donnie Moore already up to the 5th position. Remember how he said that he might be in trouble getting up here? Started 13th. He's 5th after lap 30.
Yeah, lots of guys moving through this field. Jacob Williams just behind him. Jacob up 10 spots, up to 6th.
Jacob doing a great job here this evening. Should mention Ernie Brown, 17th up to 10th. Another big mover in this race. A typical Outlaw race, as it had a couple of, either it has a green flag run with some cautions, or it will have some cautions and then a green flag run. Here comes, looks like right now, the green flag run part of the race as Shepard logging laps really quickly here. 14-second laps. You're going around here 4 laps a minute.
Chris, that lead is mounting. He's already 1.6 seconds ahead.
Yeah, he's gone. He's over in Charlotte right now.
I mean, he's catching the back of this pack quickly. They better get moving. Ralph Connor, the next car up in front of him. Jeff Sharp just in front of him. I mean, he's going to be coming into the middle of a battle here in just moments.
On board with Donnie Moore as he looks at Lowell Jewell to the inside here. And Hoosier number 5. This track is very tough to get a run on somebody. You can get down there and you can ride that bottom line as looks like Shepard going to put a lap on the 22 of Collinsworth. So only 13 cars now in the lead lap.
JR
We're staying on this battle.
He is really on a mission now. He's knocking them down one right after the other. The line is great. The speed in the car is great. The exit off the turns is perfect. Look at him just go by the 9 car there. Ralph Connor, make him look like he's standing still. Jeff Sharp gonna give him a little bit of battle, but not much. There goes JR just rolling on.
Sharp started 3rd and already a lap down with that damage. That's going to leave now 11 cars on the lead, 12 on the lead lap, and here comes Moore inside of Lowell Jewell. You've been riding with him the whole time. And Williams going to follow him through, it looks like.
Gonna try. Lowell can't shut the door. Jacob Williams gonna get by underneath. Lowell gonna keep fighting up top, heading down into turn 1, side by side.
Donnie telling Jacob, hey, follow me, I'm the Pied Piper. Let's go. He's going to go to 5th and 6th here, it looks like.
Jacob finally going to clear Lowell. Lowell was trying to squeeze him down there just a little bit. Didn't work. Jacob finally able to get that wheel past him.
Chris Wolfson having a good run there. Here comes Holcomb. He's going to get a run maybe on the bottom. They're not able to do so, but Holcomb's come back from his troubles already in this race. He's involved. Oh, and caution on the track. It is in turn.
Ralph Connor lost it, babe. Coming off the 2. The number 9 car gets around.
2, apparently, as you're saying. I can't find it. But we're going to watch it on the replay. That's why Joe Peak directs and I just talk.
Yeah, he just looked like might have started to get back to the throttle a little bit soon. The car started to roll out a little bit. The right rear came around, and that car took heavy damage. It's a smoking. The cue is lit. Yeah, it looks like that's Ralph Connor going to take that car behind the wall and into the garage, Chris.
What's the Sean Ambrose choice of meat this week?
You know what? Let's go with some pork shoulder.
All right, I'm good with that. Pork shoulder. Matter of fact, I think I'm making that tomorrow at a crock pot.
Sounds good. What time do we eat?
Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket?
Well, the field is going to get a chance to battle with J.R. Shepherd again. Caution flag is just here at the halfway point, Chris. Going to give these gentlemen a chance to race with him here for a few laps. Let's see if Matt Hoos or Kurt Smith or Donnie Moore, maybe Jacob Williams, and old Jewel, give him a run.
Hoos could be a guy that could give him a run. Hoos has been fast here tonight. Won the street stock race just a little bit ago as he is there in second. You see the rest of your top 10. Kurt Smith there in third. Donnie Moore, Jacob Williams, Lowell Jewell, Chris Wolfson, Holcomb, Barden. And you mentioned Chip Dickard. Got to give him a shout out. You mentioned a truck winner tonight in the 04. So congratulations to him. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that will be his first bootleg win in any of the series. So definitely good for him.
I do believe Chip finally joins the lists of winners in the Bootleg Racing League, and our congratulations goes out to the Carolina driver on that big win in the trucks this evening. But Chris, they are lined back up and ready to go.
I was going to say the home track here, technically, because it's the only Carolina race I think we have off to. Oh, no, we had Concord a little bit ago, I guess. So many tracks in the Southeast. Anyways, Shepherd going to get the restart here on Hoos. Hoos gets a good jump. Let's see if he might have jumped too soon.
That's going to be close, but Hoos does get a great jump. But man, JR battles back beneath.
Looks like Collinsworth going to get a black flag as Shepherd going to get the lead on Hoos. Donnie Moore up to the third position. Captain comeback into 26.
Talk about guys that look poised to win. Donnie Moore.
Oh, the 06 is around.
Hey, you know, it looks like it doesn't look like he got any help, Chris.
I think he clipped the apron. Clipped the apron just a little bit.
I think you're right. Now, he got some help there at the end when he was already going around. Unfortunately, the 62 had nowhere to go. He was right there in front of him, Jeff Kendrick. But Barden gets around.
Got the sand barriers there. Now, that is something really easy to do on this track. If you look closely in the corners here, and you see it on the replay, there's no really white line in the corner. You can't really tell the apron from the main part of the track, and it's really easy to hit that apron. That apron will just suck you around so quick on this track, so you got to be very careful of that, and that's unfortunately bit Barden. He's going to survive, though, and looks like continue on here 13th, I believe, a lap down. But Donnie Moore going to get that inside line now on Hoos, so this could be very interesting. We might have I don't know, it seems like last year all over again. Donnie Moore versus J.R. Shepherd.
Boy, I got to tell you, we started off with 20 cars this evening. It's been a little rough here, Chris. We've only got, 13? Is it on the lead lap now at this point?
Yeah, because should get the wave around would probably go to David Loomis, if I had to guess. I didn't hear anything on the audio, but I believe Loomis is going to get the wave around. So you'll have Loomis should be back in the lead lap if I see this right. We'll find out here very shortly. He should get 2 to go this time by. Still no sign yet.
Strange. This almost seems to be a long pit stop.
Loomis now getting it. Yep, Loomis now getting the way around. You see him up there on the outside. So,
all right, that'll get us back to 14 on the lead lap, and that'll make Ron Collinsworth, the next car, a lap down. Tim Shanowski still fighting back there, trying to get him back in 16th.
But we're counting down these laps pretty quickly here. 45 to go already. Shepherd looking for that 6th win of the season. The only 2 drivers not named Shepherd to win this season, Matt LaVenture, who again is sidelined with that knee injury, and of course Tim Shanowski last week as Shepherd's on it. But that Oriole car, he's not playing around.
Donnie Moore, almost gets the
That was
chrome floor
close.
in there. Shit.
Look at Jacob Williams up to 4th. He has followed Donnie Moore all the way through.
The tide ride is hot.
Looking for a clean win tonight, maybe.
Oh,
I mean, if Tide can clean a track after a fire, then why can't it clean anything?
boy, Donnie Moore really applying the pressure to the rear end there of J.R. Shepard.
Right on board with the Michigan driver is Who's back to his traditional number 21. If you remember last week, drove that 05 as he paid tribute to Kenny Morris, who was a bootleg driver just a couple seasons ago, unfortunately passing away just a little over a week ago or so. But who's back in that 21 car? Sporting that Oriole car pretty strong.
Well, he had gotten to the rear end there at JR and now slipping away just a bit. JR back to being comfortable again and getting back in the throttle, now opening it up to almost half a second again.
Yep, just got over a half second over Hoos right now. 9 tenths of a second. Donnie Moore back at third. Jacob Williams, I should say, there at fourth, and then you got Kurt Smith back at fifth. We got a pretty good dogfight here for 6 and 7. John Holcomb looking underneath Lowell Jewell. Holcomb get close to Lowell. Don't spin the boss.
Can he beat him off the turn? Lowell, give it to Lowell, but John going to keep it down there on the bottom.
Battle of black and purple cars. Or I guess you can call his numbers pink. Magenta we'll go with. I like that. Good call there, Joe.
Oh, Holcomb making that move, gets that position away.
Sorry, Sean is watching Jeff Sharp here driving underneath the 8 of Ernie Brown. I thought they were going to drive it to the inside wall as one car rail slides.
Donnie Moore just passes Matt Hoos for second.
Whoa.
Did it on the outside to get around Donnie.
If he wins tonight, I might go to school for counseling.
Well, Donnie really having a great run here so far this evening. He's got a ways to go to catch J.R. Shepard. No, Shepard almost 2 seconds up the track.
Oh, so what are you trying to say? He's got a long way to go?
And a short time to get there.
There you go. Oh, caution. Here's your short time. One car on the inside wall here. It is Jeff Sharp.
Hey, there was a bit of a check up there. Sharp had to check up for Ernie Brown. And we're going to see this on screen here. You're going to see the 49 have to check up there for the 8, and then he gets tagged behind by the 62.
Jeff on Jeff violence.
Yeah, I'm going to give Kendrick a pass on that one, though. Again, Sharp had to disrupt his momentum just a bit to avoid hitting Ernie. And we'll ride on board with Kendrick here. I think you're going to see Kendrick you see Jeff slow down a little bit. Yeah, it's close, man. Close.
Give him the benefit of the doubt. I can agree with you on that. But 70 laps in the books. Kind of looking like an old school night here at the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series, the Virtual Grip 100. We go back to the season, 2 and 3 of 2016 when it was the J.R. Shepard versus Donnie Moore battle up in the front. And what do you know? It's kind of back here again. Donnie Moore versus J.R. Shepard. See what happens there. And I do want to send a little apology out to the viewers tonight. I usually chat with them, but unfortunately tonight a little bit of a different situation here, so I'm not able to. But Mr. Ambrose has got chat going, I'm pretty sure. So if you want to talk to him about anything going on in the race tonight, you can do so. Or this is your chance since I'm not around. You can talk behind my back. I don't care. But have fun.
Yeah, I'll take all of your negative comments about Chris now. Just put them there in the live chat. I'll be happy to discuss it with you. No, but the chat has been lively this evening, so got a couple people mixing it up in there.
Very. It's always a lively chat. Some good people in there, always talking about how they love the short track racing and.
A former winner at this track, 2-time winner, Brian Neff in the chat, and NASCAR News 36. I suspect NASCAR News 36 is from the Northeast. I have a feeling I may know who that is.
36 Northeast. Doing some thinking here.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this person, but the lights are out on the pace car, which means only one thing, Chris. It's time to get back to some short track racing.
Absolutely. 98 of J.R. Shepard inside Donnie Moore, Matt Hoos, Jacob Williams, your top four. Shepard's on it. Donnie Moore gets a good start. See if he fills the bottom here. He will. For a second. He moves up the groove a little bit there, but Shepard going to get away with the lead. Let's see if Moore can get him. Here comes Hoos, drives it in there, but not able to get the room.
We got calamity on the backstretch.
Wow, one car on its top. It's Ernie
Chip
Brown.
Dicker. Yeah, Ernie on his lid, but see what happened. I think it might have started with Chip Dicker here.
Chip Dicker with a crushed can of Coke. Diet, that is. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Chip and Ernie got into it back there. Unfortunately, they make wheel-to-wheel contact, and that just ignites a firestorm. David Loomis gets into that. Barden gets in it.
Tell you what, let's see if we can get Joe to take a ride with Tim Shinowski. He might have a front row view of this.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he's going to have some right front damage too. Tim catches the very back end of that. You'll see him get by the 07 right there, and he clips. Yeah, that shot him down the track. He clips Chip Dickert there.
But he's going to get the wave around, so you could say that paid off for him. So Shinowski will move to 2 laps down here. Now lap number 77 in the books, 23 laps to go. We only have 3 races remaining after tonight. South Boston Speedway for one. That'll be next Saturday night, so we'll enjoy some bologna burgers and great short track racing there. And then we'll finish up with our 2 usual races to finish out the schedule. Sean, some of my favorite tracks on the schedule, so I'm looking forward to it. I know New Smyrna will close out the season as always. Looking forward to that race and crowning a champion, if it's J.R. Shepard or someone else. That will be coming up here towards the end of March.
Donnie Moore going to get a chance to restart this race and take down J.R. Shepard. This battle is going to be intense, and guess what? Matt Hoos is right there. So's Jacob Williams, all former winners. Your front 4, they're ready to battle, Chris. This is going to be intense.
I think we're in for a dogfight here for the last 20 laps. A shootout, or what do you like to call a 20-lap shootout, Sean?
Time to party, baby. Let's boogie.
There you go.
Let's get it going.
Shepard with the restart. Who's to the bottom?
Who's going wheel to wheel with Donnie Moore?
Moore with a pretty good run and outside, but let's see. Who's drives it in there pretty deep. Can he clear him off 2? He will. Who's up to second for now.
Look who's getting away in the meantime, though. Come on, guys. Let's settle this thing. Get moving. They're both losing them.
Got to get a little cooperation out of the 2 if they're going to try to catch J.R. Shepard, but Moore is not giving up the fight. Finally, he does. He lets Hoos get away there to second. These guys get single file, but already J.R. Shepard out to a 1-second lead on Hoos.
Wow. And that's all it took was a matter of about 3 laps there, Chris, for that to just, unfold and JR get out to what's now a 1.3 second lead. Donnie now starting to that run, looking to the inside, down the back stretch, going into 3. Donnie Moore gets a blow.
Got him.
Matt Hoos and takes the spot away. Up to second, Donnie Moore. Now he can go on the attack.
In a battle for 4th, Kurt Smith, go contact Jacob Williams. Kurt Smith goes spinning. They're in the wall hard.
Yeah, Kurt tries to get that wheel in there and unfortunately drifts a little bit up into Jacob Williams, and that gets Jacob around and brings out that caution flag. With just 14 laps remaining.
That Tide Ride's got a little stain on her.
Might need a little bleach to clean that one up.
Sean, don't put bleach on a colored anything when it comes to cars, clothes, or anything.
I was going to make a comment about... I'm not. That's it. Forget it.
Just...
All right. So,
Who does your laundry?
I do my laundry. Thank you very much.
Oh boy.
Chris, what a battle here tonight at Southern National Motorsports Park. This track is bringing all the excitement that its history claims to have. So, few more cautions this evening than we've probably seen. It seems like the truck race, they kind of had the same problem. They'd have trouble getting restarted, and this modified race doesn't seem much different right now.
Well, in fairness to the truck series too, if you're in there spectating it and stuff, they've had a lot of races this season, unfortunately, where they've had to end on the time limit and stuff. But those truck setups are made custom. They're not any kind of fixed setup on these tracks because they're running the same short tracks as the modifieds and the street stocks. So you're seeing the guys from Bootleg, they got to go in there and run these setups, and they're tricky for these guys because sometimes the trucks just don't adapt to a track like a South Boston or a Concord like last week or 2 weeks ago, or Irwindale like last week. So it just, these modifieds, these are fixed setups that you're seeing on these cars, so you can understand where maybe the grip is in these cars and stuff, and how the hard racing's going on. And just speaking of, Lowell Jewell already giving a bumper to Who, saying, "Hey buddy, you better let it loose." But Shepard, let's see if he can get the restarter. Will Donnie Moore get him here? Let's see. Not a good restart for Donnie. JR gets a good one. See if Moore cuts it down here. He will not. He's clear still. Now he's not. Who's going to go to second? Here comes Holcomb.
Yeah, Holcomb trying to sneak into the picture now.
Oh, and Moore gets loose into the corner. Wow. And he's still loose.
He's loose and losing ground quickly. Lowell Jewell now gets by Donnie Moore. Donnie now under threat from Jeff Kendrick underneath. Here comes Jacob Williams from behind.
Wow, he tried to go 3 wide there. Williams on the comeback trail.
Poor Donnie lost it all there. Big risk, no payoff.
Unfortunately, not tonight. And that's been the way Donnie Moore's season has gone. He's run well, and then all of a sudden something goes wrong, and that's what's happening right now. He's back to the 6th position. Looks like he's going to lose 6 to Sharp. This is all behind, though, the 98 of J.R. Shepard, as he's going to come by the line. 4 laps to go. You still see that freight train. Moore does find a spot in there, by the way.
Holcomb is screaming right now. He's looking to get second. Really working on Matt Hoos. Don't give up on Holcomb to take that second spot.
Lawrence Towing going to be proud of their man tonight, John Holcomb, as he runs pretty well here in the 3rd position. Going to try to get a podium spot. 3 to go. Can he catch the Oreo car of Hoos? Will Hoos finish second for a 2nd straight race? Oh, he drove it in there deep.
Yeah, he did. Gonna do it again right here.
Holcomb's on caution is out. Ryan Barton is going around turn 4, and that's going to end it. Oh, one car was on its top there. Try to get a real quick replay here. Barton and somebody wrecked that was on their top.
Yeah, Barton gets a piece of the 6 here. You're going to see it on screen. Yeah, Kurt Smith gets a tap from Barton there.
Oh, it's Shanowski that went flipping.
And then Barton nails the wall head on.
And matter, here comes Shepard off of turn number 4. Somebody get the man a 6-pack. 6th win of the season as J.R. Shepard wins the Virtual Grip 100 at Southern. 6 wins in 8 races. Pretty impressive. Matt Hoos going to finish second yet again for a 2nd straight race. John Holcomb going to get 3rd as you see the fireworks off there in the background. I'm told Amjad Yamin is the one playing with the fireworks tonight. I don't know if that's good or not. But Lowell Jewell going to finish 4th, and Jeff Kendrick going to come home with a top 5 finish. So we're going to take a break. We'll come back, get the top 3 here. We'll speak with them, and we'll talk to JR and Victory Lane as you're watching the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series on iRacing Live and the Global Sim Racing Channel. And back at Southern National Motorsports Park, and raise your hand if you've not heard this story before. J.R. Shepard is in victory lane again. His 6th win in 8 races on the season as he wins it under caution. Matt, who's going to finish second for a second straight race? John Holcomb, Lowell Jewell, Jeff Kendrick, your top 5, Sean.
All right, and 6th going to go to Jeff Sharp. 7th to Donnie Moore. Jacob Williams in 8th tonight. Chris Wolfson. 9th, David Loomis. Not a bad start for David Loomis. Comes up 10 spots, finishes 10th.
He was looming around, got himself a top 10. Nice job by David. Kurt Smith finishing 11th. Ron Collinsworth, good comeback, comes back to 12th. Brian Barton, 13th. Tim Shinowski, unfortunately, after his win last week, the momentum didn't carry over. He'll finish 14th. Mike Allen, Chip Dickert, Ernie Brown, Ralph Connor, Chris Eads, Phil Temple is going to be your top 20 finishers for this race. It's that time we go to Victory Lane and welcome to, a man we're very familiar with in Victory Lane. That's J.R. Shepard. J.R.'s 6th win of the season. You entered the race with a 25-point lead, and you're at the point now where you could actually clinch the championship, believe it or not, I believe, next week, depending on how many people show up.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. Definitely wasn't expecting that at the beginning of the season, but it's been one of those seasons where just been in the right place at the right time on some of these cautions and the way things have played out.
Now tonight we kind of made mention of it, the sleeping dog formula. You never want to wake the sleeping dog. It almost seems like maybe last week at Irwindale, did they wake the sleeping dog up?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but Matt LaVenture's been gone this season, and I got a feeling when he comes back, he's going to be a lot faster than what he was when he left. So we're all trying to gear up for that and be ready for him.
Well, I think you're doing a pretty good job of getting yourself ready. You're racking up all the wins, all the stats and everything here while he's been gone. And you've done a great job. Talk about the track, though. The racing tonight had some cautions, but some very tight racing out there.
Yeah, the track was actually pretty racy. If you ran the line right, getting into the corners, you could run the outside pretty well for a few laps. My car was actually pretty slick getting into the corner, so if you overdrove it, it'd really mess you up coming out, and you'd lose a lot of time. But I think we had some pretty good race tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%, JR. But you get ready for South Boston next week as you kick off the month of March with a victory. 3 races to go after tonight. I know you got to be pretty excited to get back to Sobo and go ahead and send a shout out whoever you like.
Yeah, I hope next week's pretty good. I hope both grooves come in for sure. If they do, we'll have a real exciting race, especially get some green flags there. And thanks to Lowell and Matt for everything they do, this Bootleg Racing League, for allowing us to do this each and every week, and Lawrence Towing for being a great partner with us. It's a lot of fun, and hopefully put on a good show for the fans tonight.
I think you guys did a very good job as well. So, JR, appreciate your time. We'll talk next week.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Lee, as John is going to have a guy that's probably chomped on his 5th Oreo cookie probably since he's jumped out of his car. Let's hope he hasn't pulled the 2 cookies apart. I don't like when people do that. But anyways,
I don't know. I kind of feel like Matt might have had more than 5 of those, Chris.
Well, let's see. Let's talk to you, Sean, with Matt.
Matt, great run tonight. Got to be happy with that. You move up through the field and you get a podium, 2nd place. Not bad, buddy.
Yeah, it was a decent night. Got to be happy with the 2nd week in a row. Maybe luck's turning around here for me a little bit, but I don't know. It seems like might have had something to be able to keep up with JR, but earlier in the race, I was involved in a little bit of a scuffle there or whatever, and took some damage to the back end, so it kind of messed up the car a little bit, but wasn't going to pick because track position was important, so I just rode it out with what I had. So take a second.
And on that next to last, or on that last restart that took us to the end of the race, you and Donnie had quite a battle going on, and he tried to make a bold move. It wound up costing him, shuffling him all the way back to 7th. But talk about the racing you two had there towards the end of the race.
Yeah, Donnie and we go back a long ways, and it's always fun when I get to race with him. And I know we had quite a few on and off battles through this race tonight, so a lot of fun. So shout out to him for keeping the things clean there and being like racing like we always used to.
Well, in the pre-race, we were talking about drivers who we looked that might have some momentum to carry late in this season, going into the next season. Matt, you've shown really good mid-season form here, and not a bad way to finish this night.
Yeah, let's see if we can keep it going. Going to South Boston and Lanier, two of my favorite tracks. Of course, a lot of other guys too, but it should be a lot of fun rest of the season.
Well, and we look forward to seeing you the rest of the season, my friend. Again, congratulations tonight, and we will see you next week, my friend.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was Matt Hoos. Chris, I believe you have caught up with, who's that? John Holcomb. John Holcomb tonight, number 69, and Chris has got him.
Yeah, John Holcomb, third place run for you tonight, the Lawrence Towing car, getting yourself a P3. What a comeback for you. You were involved in some of those incidents tonight early in the race, but all the way back to third and on the podium.
Yeah, it felt good to get her back up there. Dropped from 4th to 20th and came back to 3rd, so I guess I'll take that.
And it's not like the yo-yo race. We always have one of those where you yo-yo down to the back and all the way back to the front. But you definitely showed a lot of patience tonight. You had the early caution. You got your damage fixed, and then had a chance to battle Matt Hoos there. A couple more laps. You think you had a chance at him?
Yeah, I think I did, actually. The car was feeling pretty good to me. It was a little loose. You had to be careful coming off, but I was pretty fast, actually. We just ran out of laps.
Well, how good is it to have the title sponsor on your car of this series for the last 3 or 4 seasons, and to know that you just get out there and put on a good run for the guys at Lawrence Towing?
Oh, it's great to get Lawrence Towing on the podium. They've done a great job for the league, and I appreciate what they do and appreciate what Lowell and Matt does for us. And Matt seemed to have a pretty good race tonight himself.
He did. P2 for himself and then P3 for you, which means you'll start 7th, make that 8th next week at South Boston, which we're looking forward to next week. But here's your chance, and to shout out whoever you like to.
All right, always looking forward to South Boston. Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to my crew. That'd be Mindy and Bill and Pam, and I appreciate the job you guys do. And again, Lowell and the league is great, and appreciate what Lawrence Towing does for us.
Absolutely, John. Appreciate what you do and all the great racing you've had, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
John Holcomb there, the 69 Lawrence Towing Outlaw modified there, finishing in the 3rd position. Sean, as we are about to shut the lights off here at Southern, got some things we need to talk about real quick. Of course, we got the Saturday lineups going on to Street Stocks that happen every Saturday night, 7 o'clock before this race. Pro Truck Series each and every Saturday night, 8 o'clock. And, of course, Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series, as you see here on the Global Sim Racing channel at 9 o'clock each and every week. And, of course, sooner or later, we'll get the Tuesday night lineup going, which is the Late Model Dirt Series. But of course, it's a work in progress, and hopefully that'll be out sooner rather than later. But just want to get those out there. Sean, your final thoughts on the race tonight?
Man, it was a great one. You know what? It's heating up, though, and we talk about that battle in the points there for second. Tim Shinosky loses a little bit of ground tonight. Matt Hoos, we talked about drivers with momentum. It looks like Hoos has got it right now.
He does have it right now. Hoos with 2 straight seconds, and it might be a little too late to get the JR, but Hoos definitely showing that momentum to go into season 2, like we talked about before this race. But Sean, great job as always. We'll see you next week. We'll go up to the friendly confines of Virginia.
Yes, sir. Can't wait to get there. We say we pay some bills and get out of here.
Sounds good to me. And thanks to our title sponsor, Lawrence Towing. They service the Indianapolis, Indiana area and all the neighboring communities. If you're looking to get out to Lawrence Towing, just jump on 465 and head out to that beautiful town of Lawrence there to the east side of Indianapolis. And if you find yourself in need of a tow, Lawrence Towing is the way to go. And Virtual Grip Network is a blog devoted to news from the world of iRacing at virtualgrip.net. You can stay up to date with what's happening in iRacing and keep up with the top World Championship Series, including the Blanc Pond GT Series, the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, and the World Championship Grand Prix Series. If you need details, you can check out virtualgrip.net and facebook.com/virtualgrip.
And thanks to the Bootleg Racing League for organizing the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. For more series information about the Bootleg Racing League, find them on Facebook /Bootleg Racing League, and find them at their glorious website, bootlegracingleague.com.
Thanks to the companies, equipment, and software that you see on your screen here right now that we use to broadcast.
All right, and we also want to thank the original music you've heard all year on this broadcast is thanks to Erica Colm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them for information about all GSRC events. Go to globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also catch us on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook /Global Sim Racing Channel.
We also have upcoming races for other series on your screen and also upcoming races for this series. You see there the South Boston race on your calendar there. Mark it down. Next week, the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series will head to Virginia in the famous South Boston Speedway. It's round 9 of 11 for the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series. We hope to see you as always at 9:15 Eastern Time on iRacing Live in the Global Sim Racing Channel. For Dougie Beer, Joe Peak, Sean Ambrose, and Chris Scala, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.